Hey!
Hey! Me?
That's-
Come on, dance. You cannot not smile when you hear this song.
It's a happy song.
I just went way to the... Okay.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awesome 80s podcast. This is Michael.
Okay, thank you.
This is Michael.
I'm Lawrence. I thought maybe you forgot your line or something.
Well, why does it have to be the same every time, Glenn?
It doesn't.
I know for a fact you never like it always the same.
It doesn't have to be the same. It just would be helpful if you just said, hey, it's not going to be the same today.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you ever, are you ever in a situation you're like, I'm going to die in this situation?
Sometimes. I guess.
I mean, he's a firefighter. I'm sure he'd.
Well, that's true. I have developed a routine on Thursday nights when we record on Thursdays. It alternates between Thursdays and Fridays usually. Or if I'm going to, I just live a block away from Studio MH. By the way, MH is here.
Good evening, everyone.
He's there. There he is.
Hello.
And MF Jones is not here, but he is supporting us from approximately 6.7 miles away. Not at a food concert in his living room. You know why? Because it's cold, and all of Illinois is one sheet of ice. It's ridiculous.
I think next week it's going to be like 55 degrees.
That's bullshit. I don't know.
I'll believe it when I see it.
When it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
So my routine is I leave my house, which is approximately a 32-second drive from Studio MH. I drive out of my way to the Hucks. I buy snooze, gas, and Red Bull for the morning, and then I come drive 0.5 miles from Hucks to Studio MH. And tonight I was at the Hucks, and I'm gonna die because every person who walked in, I was like, this is the person who's gonna kill me. They look sketchier, and even the guy behind the counter scared me, and he was very methy.
Yes, he's got that weird hat on.
Yeah, the new kid.
Just keeps itching.
I was like,
does your skin feel super itchy right now?
He's new, so he doesn't know my order. He doesn't already have my stuff ready when I walk in. So that pisses me off.
Yeah, I went through there after work today, and I walked in the door. You know, the counter is situated to the left of the door entryway. Yes. I walked in. He's like, "Sup, buddy? What can I help you with?" It's like, "Hey, I'm not your buddy, and I don't need your help."
Yeah, he hasn't realized that the Hucks experience is very self-serve. He's new. He'll understand. The world will beat him down. I watched a woman argue with him for 4 minutes over a 90-cent peanut coupon tonight, so hopefully he's on his way to being beat down. Otherwise, it's cold outside, and Illinois is one giant sheet of ice. How are you?
Doing great. Just organizing. Lots of gifts coming in the mail. Organizing all that. Me and my wife is yelling at each other because the last package was supposed to have a swimming suit in it, but there was no swimming suit in it. So, but apparently we double-checked and triple-checked, and apparently they did not put the swimming suit in it. So that's where we're at right now. Lots of packages coming in.
Do I owe you a gift?
No, your wife got me something. It's probably the best gift, I think. One of the better ones. As far as immediate usage, she got us bottles, so that's good.
That's good. It saves the nips.
Well, it's there's no nipples, so we got to buy nipples. It's not
somebody's wife's nipples.
It's who's ever nipples, it's gonna save them.
Yeah, yeah. So you, no secret here, are going to be a father within the next couple weeks for the first time.
Yes.
You know how kids plan out their like little girls plan out their wedding days? I'm pretty sure one of the first times we hung out 20 years ago, I was like, this guy's going to be a father, and if only some woman will ever sleep with him. Not only did a woman sleep with you, 10 years later, you're going to be a father.
Yeah, my wife and I, we had adventures around the world, and then eventually we landed here and back in the middle of Illinois, and now we're trying to reproduce for the new millennium.
For the gingers.
For the gingers. It's important. At our meetings with the other redheaded people, we talked about this. It's come up every week. When are we going to have more gingers? Because you never know what's going to happen as far as our lineage, our gene pool. I mean, it's a genetic anomaly, some people say. But some other people say that the articles and different things, colleges, they do different research projects that they're actually funded by hair dye companies. So that maybe 9/11's inside job. Maybe redheaded people are going extinct. Maybe that's funded by the hair dye company.
And don't laugh because I'm fucking serious right now.
Okay.
If I'm not allowed to talk about the day that I'm not allowed to talk about, the day where this great country was bombed into oblivion. If I can't never forget that, you can't bring it up either, firefighter.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, the Gingers will be back. Hopefully, I mean, my dad has brown hair, and Delaney's mom has brown hair too. So hopefully, we'll see.
Your dad does not have brown hair. Your dad is.
Well, he's got brown. He's got brown on top, but he's got the red mustache. Super sweet. He looks like a character from Sesame Street a little bit.
I was gonna say Ginger Tom Selleck. MH.
Maybe he needs to use this just for ginger hair dye that you were just talking about.
He's starting to get a little white, like straight white. So we'll see.
Like Willie Nelson white, or?
Well, Willie Nelson's a ginger too, so I guess he's getting. I'd say 1982 Willie Nelson hair is where my dad's at.
Oh, nice. I was picturing more Waylon Jennings, but.
Okay.
So we picked a movie tonight to help you prepare for fatherhood.
Okay.
Look who's talking. But as usual, we got some business to take care of at the top of the show. Last week on the Porky's podcast, we mentioned Rhonda up all night. And as luck would have it, I have tracked Rhonda down. Her people have talked with me, because we don't have people. I'm our people. And we're in talks. I would not be surprised with either in our next bank of shows, which we'll explain at the end of the show how our next few shows are going to work, if she pops up, or maybe next month that will happen. So that would be great. We hope that happens. We're going to continue to talk with her person and see if we can get that to happen. That's exciting, right?
I never had a pony at my birthday party. No one ever promised me a pony at my birthday party. But to me, this feels like, in a roundabout way, that you're promising a pony to the listeners of this podcast. Are you going to deliver? Is this going to happen?
You've seen the emails. You said the email I sent belonged in the Email Hall of Fame.
That memo you sent was legendary.
So if that email didn't work, I mean, my stupid tweet worked, and then that email was just like, oh my god, how could I not want to be on this?
So hopefully the people, I saw the email from their people, and I was super excited. I'm just people talking about the 80s, people talking about how much they love movies. I think that's fantastic here at theawesome80s.com.
I believe the text you sent me was Rhonda motherfucking up all night.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it was something like that.
All right. Well, as you said, one step closer to Dane Annie Potts being on the show.
Well, if Rhonda Up All Night was on the show, I'm fucking gonna do an interview with the show.
Dane Annie Potts. Who'd she work for?
The USA Network?
No, Dane Annie Potts.
Oh, the Sugar Bakers.
Sugar Bakers?
Sugar Bakers.
Oh, she worked for the Sugar Bakers. Anthony?
Well, how does Anthony tell his other black friends? I work for these old white ladies. It's just you and a bunch of white ladies? Yeah, are you... So you're like their servant? Yeah, I'm like their servant. Yeah, it's like...
But at least it's like up north, right?
No, it's in the South.
Georgia, it's on a plantation.
It's all these old white ladies just bossing me around, just telling me what to do. I have little tantrums, but I still just do exactly what they tell me to do.
One of them's married to Major Dad. They're the Sugar Bakers. Sugar Bakers.
Yeah.
So I watched Murder, She Wrote tonight. Then I went to Huck's. Now I'm here. You're here. We're going to talk about this movie, but we have stuff to discuss first.
Okay.
What do we have to discuss?
I wanted to talk about the special thanks to the fans. Mr. D. Rose, all over the Facebook page.
All over it.
All over the Facebook page.
Love D. Rose.
I'm probably gonna thank half now, thank half later. Of course, the Doiner, all over the place. Really, Because me and Glenn, we talk about the 80s one night a week, but what really makes it worthwhile is all the feedback we get on the face space, and we do appreciate it. So Casey, of course, Casey. Renee F, Corey F, Darren F, Brady M, Mr. Espina Jr., Daniel C, Prince Annie, and Eric C. We'll go ahead and thank the other people later on, but we do appreciate everything.
I have a couple things.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I want to thank London Bloke.
Okay, yes.
Also, a couple weeks ago, you made the comment, not on the show, but just in general show conversation off the air. You said that we have more fans in India than we do in Springfield, Illinois. You said that.
Yes.
So I've gone door to door in Springfield, Illinois. This fine state's capital, mind you. I've gotten one fan so far.
Okay.
One new fan. Julie Frust-Hammers, I believe is the full name. It's French.
Okay.
So we want to thank her if she's listening and watching tonight. And so that's our goal now, because you challenged Springfield. You said India, we have more fans, and we have a lot of fans in India. I've seen the numbers.
We do have
back.
We do have stickers, and I'm going to work towards getting the 1-inch buttons. So if you do want to send us an email, hopefully we can get you with your address. We're not going to put you on a list. I don't think we're smart enough to figure out the list. I think Nathan's smart enough to figure out how to do like a list situation. But if you send us an email with your address, we'll get you some stickers, and hopefully we're going to work towards the 1-inch buttons.
Where would they send that email to?
hosts@theawesome80s.com.
All right. So send that email. We'll send you stickers, possibly buttons, maybe a dick pic. I don't know. Polaroids. If you get one, it's probably MH's.
Okay. I was sending black guy dick pics to you for a while there, Glenn, but I stopped doing that.
I had to stop sending you pics. We know why.
If we both have kids, we can start doing all the gay stuff we want, Glenn. It's totally cool. Totally cool.
We've been doing the gay stuff for 15 years.
Okay. This is the most homoerotic podcast not involving homosexuals on the internet. You are welcome. You are welcome, listeners.
I think I've severely doubted. I thought you were different. I'm secure in my sexuality. I don't
care. I don't care. I'm not scared. I'm just saying you're welcome. We're giving people more than they can for, more than what their money's worth, Glenn. That's all I'm saying.
I read that the new average is 5.15 inches, so more than they expected.
Okay, good.
The Chinese keep repopulating.
So do you want to talk about the movie now, or do you want to talk about Harrison Ford?
We can talk about it as we get into the movie.
Ooh, a tie-in. It's almost as if we planned
Yes.
Harrison Ford to almost die today.
God damn it, Glenn.
No, we didn't. We didn't. Just like we didn't plan that horrible tragedy that happened in New York so many years ago.
God, shut the fuck. We're moving on. We have next up. We're going to talk about Look Who's Talking from 1989.
So when you first watched this movie, I'm going to say it was probably around the time it came out, right?
I think I saw this in the theater. I mean, there's some scenes that...
I want to talk about it.
Okay.
This movie starts with the egg, the beautiful process that happens.
You assume traveling down the fallopian tube into the uterus?
8.5 months ago, this is what was going on inside your wife's body.
Yeah.
I want you to look at it like that.
Okay.
That's how I looked at it.
I need you to just sit there where you're at and envision my wife's womb. Can you just everybody do that, please?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Do you remember? So we start the movie off like that. Obviously, that had some questions. Obviously, questions were raised.
Well, I just remember, like, as far as like the birds and the bees stuff goes, I think you can show this to like 6th graders or whatever. At least those one scenes, and like at least in a fun way, it kind of explained what's happening, but it's not too graphic. Do you know what I'm saying? Like later on in Look Who's Talking 2, they go, we can't explain boys and girls yet. He's like, well, penis, no penis. You know, like this way it kind of simplifies this. It simplifies the.
Are we supposed to ignore the fact that the cat is on the screen?
If we had I mean, if we had a mascot, I'd appreciate. I'd like it to be the cat.
We have 3 sugar gliders not 10 feet from me. I thought those were going to be our mascot.
I mean, are they camera friendly? Stop biting me. Stop biting me.
Perhaps.
What do you think, though, Glenn? I mean, would you show this like? I mean, because I remember was it 6th grade? You got they brought in like a health teacher, and then they brought in all the boys are in one room and the girls are in another room.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that I showed my son this movie like 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm fairly sure he didn't ask questions, so I'm guessing I didn't ask questions. I probably just sat there and said, I don't understand it, but it's something. We see the woman's egg turns into a lava lamp.
Yes.
A neat camera effect. And then we have George Segal. Do you remember him being so thin?
He looks good. He looks good for himself.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I saw your note, lava lamp. I thought you were noticing that he had a lava lamp on his desk in his office.
Yeah, he does. They transitioned the egg into the lava lamp. Yep. It was a neat little camera trick for 1989 there. George Segal currently starring on my favorite TV show, The Goldbergs.
It's fantastic.
So he was a younger guy here. He was, just out there banging around, banging accountants, banging interior designers. George Segal liked to bang. He was going through a selfish period.
We've talked about buying random shit on the internet. I do a lot of eBay stuff. You do a lot of Amazon stuff.
I do a lot of eBay.
So when I get like 3 boxes in one day, like my wife will just stare at me. It's
that happened to me.
I'm going through a selfish phase right now.
Oh, I'm gonna use that.
I say it, but I don't think she gets my reference. That's fine though. Whatever.
So we know Albert, played by George Segal, as we mentioned. He's married. He loves accountant sex. Like, he loves to talk numbers.
Like, oh yeah, moving into that column. Yeah.
I made a reference to this movie today to MH, but he was on a call and he couldn't hear it. I sit like 5 feet from MH in this office, and today MH we just kept talking percentages because a lot of our job is talking percentages. And I was just like, oh, I love it when you talk percentages. Keep doing it. And everyone just kind of looked at me, but they always just kind of look at me. But then I don't think he did this. In the middle of a meeting, he was obviously on mute today. MH over here goes, God damn these people, like really loud. And everyone just stops it. He does it like once a day, and no one ever says anything. And I don't know if he knows he does it.
Oh, I definitely.
Okay.
That's the freedom of working off-site.
Yes, we are.
And sharing the same frustrations as everyone else, and that's all we talk about work.
So, we meet Abe Vigoda pretty quickly.
Grandpa.
If you're not familiar with Abe Vigoda, there's a website I turned you on to. I saw you posted it on our webpage. What is that website?
AbeVigoda.com. And then also, if you go to aliveinfo.com, Abe Vigoda, he played Fish on the TV show Barney Miller. He's recently been 80 years old for about 25 years now. Are you familiar with Fish the band?
Yes.
Okay, they kind of have a different show for Halloween every year. You're familiar with this.
I am.
October 2013, 92-year-old Abe Vigoda came out in a wombat suit and did like a dance routine on stage with them at the Halloween show in New Jersey.
I drafted in my first Deadpool. If you're not familiar with a Deadpool, it's like fantasy football for celebrities who are going to die. And Abe Vigoda was my #1 draft pick in 1999. And he is still alive 16 years later.
Maybe it's the eyebrows, like your power is kept in your eyebrows, like for an older man. Like you see those like old men, they go to the barbershop and you see them, they take the comb and then they take the electric razor and they go straight over the top of the comb.
Hey, I do that.
Old guys. Maybe that's where the power is right there. You don't let your barber do that. Get your eyebrows to go as far out from your face as possible.
Fuck that. No. I like to be very trimmed. You're aware of this.
God damn it. If we didn't see so many dick pics from each other, I wouldn't have said visual. Anyway, continue.
So this is basically what happens. We have Kirsty Alley, possibly pre-Scientology days.
Okay, because I think this is when she first gets into John Travolta as far as emotionally and friendly.
She was in love with him. We'll talk about it.
We could talk about it, yeah.
So, are you looking at his eyebrows?
No, there's the deal on Abe Vigoda on Twitter, and one of his last tweets was, BT should write a song about me being alive.
So we have Kirsty Alley. We have her little redheaded spunky friend. You know that chick's dirty. And she...
There is a scene in this movie where people almost get down in the fitting room, and you can tell her redheaded friend has gotten down in a couple fitting rooms.
Well, it's the Beverly D'Angelo factor. You can just look at someone and say, she's going to do things that not everyone would do. I want to know her.
In the biblical sense, I want to lay with her.
And biblically.
Yes.
So, Kirstie Alley is sleeping with George Segal, Albert. He's married.
He's going to leave his wife any day now.
Any day. She's bulimic.
It's a real disease. I think this was back in the day. It was okay to make fun of people with bulimia.
Was it ever okay to make fun of?
I don't. Obviously, they thought it was funny enough to put a joke in for this movie.
Is that the one where you make yourself throw up, or is that anorexia? I always get
bulimia is when you throw up. Or you binge and purge. Yeah.
Yeah, George Carlin had a great bit about it. So yeah, that's the same time. That was Jam in New York. That was '90. Yeah. So yeah, you could.
Totally okay. Socially acceptable to make fun of that.
Cunt don't want to eat fucker. Sorry, I said the C word. So. We meet Kirstie Alley's parents, Olivia Dukakis, and then Amy Heckerling's real-life father, who was an accountant, who never talks the entire movie.
He just kind of goes, huh, or like laugh, or he'll just be typing away on his adding machine.
So we find out they're accountants. They're an accountant family. They're exciting people. They live life. It turns out that Kirstie Alley gets knocked up. From Albert. And how do we know this? Because we see the little sperm, boom, 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 swimming, right through that egg. Bruce Willis pops in.
You get I think, is this the introduction of Bruce Willis where he's swimming with the other sperms? Hey, guys, follow me.
I'm in.
Here's my note from that.
Science. Crazy. One other thing. This is kind of like the resurgence of Olivia Dukakis, because she was in Steel Magnolias and she was in the Cher movie too, whatever it is.
Moonstruck?
Yeah, Moonstruck also.
Step
out of it!
I dare you to watch Steel Magnolias and not cry.
God damn
MH
it.
says that the sperm were like a group of close friends on a road trip.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I've got the map! Over here! When I was watching this, I imagined you guys on your way to WrestleMania.
We gotta rotate seats. Before we got on the car, we said we would rotate every stop.
We did rotate every stop.
Yeah.
So, do you remember when pregnancy tests where you like didn't pee on a stick, like you had to mix stuff? And
this seemed very scientific. Like it did not seem easy as 1, 2, 3 as it is now, where you just pee on sticks.
Is that how your wife found out she was pregnant?
I don't know. She's a witch. I don't know. I mean, not like an annoying person, but I would think like dark magic. I think that's how she found out. I don't know.
All right. Well, learning some things.
She just came up to me and she's like, I think I'm pregnant. I'm like, this isn't very nice. But I was like, yeah, sure you are. Yeah, right. You could just tell? Yeah. She's like, I could tell. I'm like, yeah, sure, I believe you. And then I like the entire time, like the first appointment we had at the lady business doctor, I was like, at any time they're gonna be like, no, you're not pregnant, and they're like, yep, you're pregnant. I'm like, well, shit. Like it was just like my feet were never so heavy as they were walking out of that, like getting from that office back into my car. I'm like, that bitch was right.
Your wife stopped listening to this podcast, right?
Yeah, I don't. I think she listens to like one a year, and she's like, "You should really think about doing this. You guys should do this. You should do more of this." That's about it.
Okay. So we have She has to explain her pregnancy. So
Obviously, it's artificial insemination. You
artificial insemination.
you got a frozen pop. She's not a lesbian. She's not unattractive. You just unfreeze it, stick it in. Her biological clock is ticking, Harold Lloyd style, on the side of a building.
So
I guess it's one of the peaks of this movie is like the fantasies. Like she's got images of like what she's going to be like waiting for her boyfriend, George Siegel, who's I'm gonna quit my wife any day. I'm gonna get in my own apartment any day. I'm gonna divorce her any day. And she's got these imaginary breakthroughs, kind of like in Family Guy a little bit, where you're in one scene and all of a sudden we're somewhere totally different, and it's all inside Kirsty Alley's head, and she sees herself as an old lady just waiting, and she sees herself with a biological clock ticking, hanging off the side of a building. And there's other fantasies down the line where she sees herself with John Travolta, and she sees herself with blowing up her boyfriend's head with her mind in Scanner style.
So, she tells everyone she's artificially inseminated. She's having a tough time with the pregnancy. She's shopping with her dirty redheaded friend. This is the scene you mentioned earlier. Couple getting it on in the dressing room, but not like a full dressing room, like where it's like voting booths type dressing room.
Like you could see the knee down. You could see everything.
Right. And out comes Albert, his interior decorator, and that's when he tells me, "I'm going through a selfish phase. This is time."
He's got these group of Mexican Indians. They're a whole family. They're going to do like entire leather outfit for his 3 different couches in his office. And so she calls him out right there, and all of a sudden she's super stressed out, and that's when the baby starts coming.
So you got to hop in a cab. Now, you probably remember a brief time in our friendship where I was really, really kind of obsessed with John Travolta.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember my giant John Travolta?
Yeah, you had the like a cardboard cutout of White Man's Burden. Definitely the peak of John Travolta right there. White Man's Burden. You had Phenomenon one too, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the giant head. The giant head was from Phenomenon, and then I had I had a bunch of Michael posters. Where he was
some dude had to be obsessed with him, and you were that dude.
I was that dude. Little did I know that he was available for the male persuasion at that time, so I could have gotten a massage from him. That's what he does.
I think maybe it's like Eddie Murphy though too. It's like I got a penis and I'm gonna stick it in whatever I want to stick it in. Well, I guess he started out The Boy in the Bubble, then Welcome Back, Kotter, and Grease, Saturday Night Fever, Urban Cowboy, Kotter, and then Urban Cowboy. But then between like Urban Cowboy and this, and then what's the Experts?
Oh yeah, the Experts.
Between like this and the Experts and Look Who's Talking, he didn't really do anything really.
Yeah, 5 years. He had 5 years of nothing, no John Travolta, and then Amy Heckerling said, "That's the guy I want. That's the sleazy cab driver, Dago-looking guy."
I'm looking for an ethnic. Okay. Pulp Fiction. Yeah, of course, he did this like this was the next movie after this.
No.
Yeah, wasn't it?
No, because he did Look Who's Talking 2.
Well, I mean, it's almost.
Look Who's Talking Now.
Okay. Well, I mean, he wasn't doing anything other than being the dad figure of talking babies.
Yes, and dogs.
Yes. And then dogs, yes.
And
then we talked Oscars. What'd you say? Oh, yes, he's. You mispronounce his names. That's what he's famous now. And then, of course, being handsy, and then trying to kiss people that don't want to be kissed at the Oscars.
He looked creepy.
He likes the male massage. I don't know. We just talked about that, Glenn.
Do you think that was overly handsy with her because he's like trying to be like, "Hey, I love pussy."
What you got down there is what I'm interested in. Just letting everybody know. Have you seen any of the stuff with the vice president? Like he's like super handsy with everybody. Have you seen it? Yes. Well, anyway, so maybe he's trying to overcompensate for. Anyway, there is we talked about Broken Arrow, White Man's Burden, but Get Shorty. I guess Get Shorty as far as like it's one of the peaks of John Travolta in the '90s. Phenomenon, Michael. Face Off. I think Face Off was something that me and all my friends, we dropped everything and we would go, and we would take your face off. Well, he did primary colors, thin red line, but of course, I think everything came to an end.
Sucked ass.
I think everything came to the end as far as for Battlefield Earth. Everyone was like, you know what? We were really super excited about John Travolta again, but now I think we're done. That's how it was.
That's how it was.
You forgot to tell her the general's daughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was just getting banked for a while. He was taking anything he could. So, John Travolta, cab driver, he takes her. She's kind of, he's kind of sleazy. She hates him.
He takes her through all the back streets in Toronto and lets her know exactly.
New York.
Yeah, but it was filmed in Toronto.
New York.
Okay, let everybody know it's Toronto. I mean, everyone knows it's New York.
I know. Look at me. I know it was filmed in Toronto. The big brain on Michael.
Well, there is the Siskel and Ebert thing. They were very, that was the one thing they were super upset about. If you watch the review, it was like trying to pass off New York as Toronto again. I'm like, yeah, it's because they don't have unions and they can pay people a non-living wage. Go ahead.
Dude, but they have free health care.
Yeah, it's free health care. Totally fine.
So, she gives birth. John Travolta, he gets the doctor, he gets her meds. He did everything he could.
Well, I thought it was funny, the orderly, instead of, channeling him or directing him outside to where his cab was, in the fire lane, obviously.
Right?
He's like, hey, you got to put on the scrubs right here. Let's put your scrubs on, get your mask on, get in there, go look at this lady's vagina.
All right. Oh, it's Kirsty Alley.
Whoa, what's going on? You don't want drugs. My sister did.
Diane from Cheers, but
you don't need drugs. You don't need drugs.
So
obviously, at first birth, it took about 6.5 minutes to have this baby, from the onset of labor till Bruce Willis comes out of her vagina. A little unhairy, slippery, light blue and orange Bruce Willis.
They asked him if he's going to cut the cord. Are you going to cut the cord?
If they ask, I don't know. You never know, Glenn. You never know. I'd prefer to, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Never know.
You never know. As things are going, I'd prefer to. You never know.
So, that's it. Next, she's back. She's with the baby.
And she's looking at her boobs.
Yeah, boob fairy hit. Are you looking forward to the boob fairy?
I think it's already visited a few times.
Well, I've always just had kids appear on my doorstep, so I've never been. I've never. I've raised kids.
This is responsible. This is what responsible people do, and you're awesome. I think Jake's better human being than either of us. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, but I've never gone through pregnancy or childbirth. We have opened doors, and there have been kids in a basket saying, "Hey, he's yours."
There's those little signs in Illinois that it's like a street sign they put at post office or the library or the fire department. They just need to put one of those up at your house.
I think they did.
Yeah. Come, it's safe. A baby drop off right here.
You don't remember those couple years? Those kids were just arriving on my doorstep every other week.
Yeah. I'm somebody else's dad now. I'm a new dad.
This is your new brother. So all of a sudden, John Travolta just shows up at her apartment.
She's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Come on in." How does she know? I mean, how's she even? Yeah, she's like, "Come on in. I'm exhausted right now." So he shows up and she's like, "Well, I can't pay you. This is all the money I have. I lost my purse. Somebody stole my purse." But apparently he tracked her down, and now
Wait a minute. How do you know where I live?
He had her purse the whole time. She left it in the back of the cab, and now he's decided to use her to trick the state of New York, state of New Jersey, probably use her as a federal offense, kind of blanket, kind of use her as a way to just channel and just launder the way for his family to use the healthcare system in America.
So John Travolta's a scam artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
He takes any shortcut he can through construction zones, free lunches, free LD. That's long distance.
I know probably 20 places in this town where I can get free lunches.
So he just works the system.
And then, but eventually they have a love scene. I'm not ruining anything for you. But then during the love scene, she has this fantasy or anti-fantasy of him showing up with dirty kids and lettuce, dented cans. This is the future she sees in her head if she makes a commitment to bone John Travolta later on in the film. And of course, if you notice, there's like a super dirty, mulleted Mikey sitting on in the table holding one of his future brothers and sisters.
She was like very into the lovemaking, but then she's on her stomach, she's looking at the camera, and she's just like very bored. Like had this bored look on the.
I noticed that too.
I always notice the bored look in their eyes.
Well, we talked about it earlier, but there's some dance scenes. There's some kind of intimate glances. You can tell they have chemistry between each other. And you talked about how I saw something where she was on Barbara Walters, and she said this is the movie where she fell in love with John Travolta.
MH pointed out that she has ballerina shoes hanging in her kitchen.
Obviously, she wanted a different future for herself, but she went to the family business and became an accountant. She's a CPA.
Sorry. Bulls hit a last-second shot.
No, there's still time left.
Well, they're going to win.
You think that's enough?
They're up by 2 with 2.1 seconds.
I watched the Bullets game. It seemed like they were giving it away near the end, but they still hung on. Anyway.
What?
The Wizard.
I've been the Bullets since the 90s, my friend.
I'm going to be that old guy. Grandpa still call him Cassius Clay. I'm going to call him the Washington Bullets.
So he lights up a cigarette right in front of little Mikey.
Oh, yeah. Remember when it was okay to just smoke in front of babies?
Yeah, it's fine.
Or even just restaurants up until when was it, 2005, 2006? Like they have smoking sections, a non-smoking section, and then magically this invisible layer is going to protect the babies over here from the people smoking over here 10 feet away.
As a former waiter, you always wanted the smoking section because they tip better.
So a lot of them take into account that they're going to sit a little bit longer, they're going to drink a little bit more coffee, so they'll give you a little bit more extra because they eat up all the table time.
Yeah, I like them. I like the smokers.
Okay.
Can you believe there was a time where I was a heavy smoker?
Don't believe it, Glenn. Don't believe it. Thousands upon thousands of. I think you would also kind of parlay this. Whenever you would be a waiter, you're trying to parlay that into Camel Bucks as well. Hey, you don't have to tip me that well, but you can leave your Camel Bucks. I'd appreciate those.
And I was dating the bus girl who always picked up the empty cigarette pack.
Okay,
we had Camel stuff and Marlboro Miles stuff coming when we and her lived together, like
that's
9,000.
There's no way that's not white trashy. That's totally cool.
Yeah, I had a Joe Cool money clip. Did you?
No,
I don't think so.
No, I had one from my grandfather. They've got we've got the introduction of the constant talking from Bruce Willis. Like if this was made maybe 10 years later, the mouth would be moving. Do you think? On the baby?
Oh yeah, they totally have fucked it up.
I think because here you've just got the entire the mental picture, all these stuff that he's imagining inside his mind. Apparently, Amy Heckerling, her husband, was the impetus behind this. They had a baby, and she was pregnant in 1987, and they got this idea of Look Who's Talking from her husband, just with the voices, with the newborn, doing this observational humor with their child.
Well, this is what's kind of bullshit. So they did the third movie where the dogs talk. I grew up in a house where my parents' dog had a voice.
It talked.
Just as part of like everyone else. But he talked. The whole dinner was always the dog. My dog now talks. They stole that. They stole that from Mike Tucker.
Well, I think it's just one of those things that everybody does, and they wish they would have made this. They wish they would have made this movie, but they didn't. And just constant observational humor and a lot of stuff about his business, a lot of stuff about putting powder down there, things like that.
So let's talk about this. She makes a deal with this cab driver who just showed up at her house randomly, tried to steal her mail. Bulls win. She made a deal that he should watch her kid a few times a week.
She's known him for maybe 35 minutes.
I mean, the whole premise of this movie is fucking insane.
I know we just met, but I need you to watch my kid 2 nights a week.
Hey, random cab driver who admits to stealing anything he can get his hands on. You think he watch my kid? Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go take a nap. You stay here with the kid.
You commit mail fraud, and then watch my kid, and I'll let you get away with it.
But he does but he's got this dream, and his dream someday is to be an airline pilot. But right now he's doing airplane lessons for anyone and everyone. If he really hustles, he can make up to $1,100 a week. No, a month. So we get this lots of observational humor about the girl with the giant breasts at the airline place. Sorry, don't have anything for you, Vince.
Lunch.
That
was the one that was in all the trailers too. You know how they always pick one quote? That was it. Here's a question for you as a soon-to-be father. I work in an area where we often have our coworkers pregnant, and not like all of them, but like in a rotation. They refer to breast milk as white gold. Like they freeze it, they have a thing, and apparently you can sell it online for a pretty good profit. So if the whole firefighting business of this podcast isn't working out, just have your wife pump it out.
Might look into it. We'll see.
And your wife isn't much of a drinker, but remember, if she has a glass of wine, she needs to do the dump and pump.
The pump and dump. She read this article where it said you can have two, and you don't have to.
Actually, yes. I just had that conversation with someone last week. I shit you not.
My wife is pretty much an expert on everything right now because she's read every single article there is about everything, and all those articles probably tell the truth. So.
Well, I'm just telling you, white gold.
Okay, white gold. You can put it on the internet. I'll go down to the grocery store, get some dry ice. You know, it can't be that hard. People do lobsters from Maine. Thank you, Cabot. Thank you, Cabot Cove.
Namaste.
Oh, by the way, yeah, my dad, he did really like the boob scene. That was his favorite part of the movie, was Mikey going to the airline place and seeing the lady with the giant breasts. So.
Do you think it's pretty much the same as the Christmas Vacation at the counter boob scene? Like, dads love it.
I cannot. I don't even see the lines. Can you see the lines?
Can't you like us?
There's the next scene we talk about, or we find out that she doesn't get to sleep at all. Are you prepared for not sleeping ever?
Well, I don't really sleep right now, anyway.
Sure, you don't.
Okay, so.
So
she's gonna be crazy. So it's just gonna be an extra level of crazy. It seems like it's just very gradual. So hopefully it wasn't like overnight crazy. So it's just like regular crazy, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So we might have it might go down a little bit, but it's probably gonna go up a lot of bit. So we'll see.
I've always wondered if the booger sugar would have the opposite effect on you and make you sleepy. You never sleep.
You guys just want to get a sandwich and just hang out? I don't know.
I'm just kind of chill now. It's okay. I'm personally, like, as I walked in here tonight, I just wanted to go to sleep. I didn't sleep really last night, and then I worked my whole work week already, and I just wanted to not do anything. But then I saw your face, and I'm like, I'm a believer. Let's do it.
You were up to your elbows in soupy water at some random fire. We're gonna do multiple fires in one day. That's what you were doing.
No, that's what you do.
Okay.
I'm up to my elbows in people trying not to take accountability for getting shit done.
Okay. No, he was gonna do it. Really? He was gonna do it. Really?
Because this says you're gonna do it. You told me you're. I don't know. Okay.
I'm sorry, Clay.
Planner humor. So back to this whole thing. So, by the way, postpartum depression, that's something you're going to have to do.
That's a real thing, I guess.
It's a real thing. It's not just something they make up. Not like periods.
But this whole time she's having fantasies about getting back together with the dad from the grandfather from Goldberg's, who's very handsome at this time. He's an illegitimate father. Have you seen Carbon Copy?
No.
It's got it's kind of a similar situation where he's got an illegitimate child and didn't care about it. It's got George Segal. George Segal And he ends up having a black son.
Oh. You know, he's famous apparently for playing the banjo. And I didn't know that. And our good friend Garen, friend of the show, is on this podcast, Never Not Funny. It's a fairly popular one.
Oh, no
and
big deal.
He made a George Segal banjo joke a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get it, and I looked it up, and I guess he's famous for playing it. And then last week he played it on the Goldbergs, and I was like, oh, full circle. It's the circle of life. So, hold on. Motherfucker Jones wants us to know something.
He loves it. He loves it.
Motherfucker Jones loves planner humor.
Okay, good. Good.
So
apparently he's a banjo guy, like Steve Martin.
Yeah.
But does he have his own band?
I don't know. But in Karma Copy, it's got Denzel Washington. So in this movie, he plays Bruce Willis's dad. In Karma Copy, he plays Denzel Washington's dad.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I did not know that.
You did not. I did not know that. Yes.
Mind is blown.
So, as you mentioned, she falls asleep. James takes the kid. We meet Abe Vigoda again. Abe Vigoda is a mean old man. Doesn't always have his teeth.
Doesn't always have his teeth. He's like, hey, Mikey, these are your cousins. These are your cousins right here. That's later on.
That is later on. So,
but everyone loves Mikey. Seems like they're supposed to be together. I don't want to ruin anything, but it seems like even though they hate each other at this point, there's some magic happening.
What kind of magic is happening?
Well, she has fantasies about him. He bursts in. They start dancing. He drinks her breast milk. One thing leads to another. They're making out. She at this point, she's going out with multiple guys. Her mother's hooked her up with bad dates. 2 or 3 bad dates. She has these fantasies in her mind of like the super anal guy who's like, you're not going anywhere until this is straightened up properly. You've got after school shirts in with school shirts. You've got dark socks mixed in with white socks. And then there's the other guy who's like, this plate, this spoon is spotty. There's something floating in this. So he's got the super, just the asshole and the super anal guy. It's kind of funny, just the way they're depicted, especially after working in restaurants, though, too.
Do you think? I mean, I haven't been a dater in a long time. I usually would just find someone and club them over the head, and then she mine. Are dates really this bad? Do these things happen?
It's a cinematic thing. Maybe from a woman's point of view, maybe from Amy Heckerling's point of view, she's had situations like this. But eventually moved to the date with the accountant who gets extra information from John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta sabotages this pretty quick, right? He sabotages it. He has Mikey pull off the toupee. He tells her she's real progressive, wants to pay for everything, but he's very open about his anal surgeries.
I think obviously had intestinal situations. Have you ever had a barium enema? It seems like if you were to start dating right now, you might be as open with your health situations with your new lady as this guy is.
I don't talk about my colon on dates.
He just hands
sure,
up.
Glenn.
However,
what about your coworkers?
Well, yeah, I mean everyone knows.
Well, I mean, what's the percentage of ladies that you've gone out with that have been your coworkers?
You son of a bitch.
I'm just saying that they probably all know about your situation. So
no, I don't work at that place anymore.
Well, what about the new place?
Well, I'm not dating anyone at the new place.
Well, I'm just saying that they still all know about your situation.
Well, everyone, we're a close
We're close friends. Friends talk about each other's beeholes. It's totally fine.
The doctor said you could eat off my colon.
Okay. That is clean. That is clean.
He doesn't like a little ass play. It's fine. You okay over there? MH is feeling it. He's feeling it.
It's clean.
So, she's pissed. She's pained. She even tries to make a joke. Hey, does your colon look 10 pounds heavier on TV? She's trying to roll with it.
And he doesn't get it. He has a very bad sense of humor. I mean, you could tell, like, just their banter back and forth. It's kind of adds to the magic of the movie with her and John Travolta. Like, you could tell there's something there. They've got great chemistry together. It feels like they could have done better in this movie. I mean, do you think they could have made another movie? Or do you think they could have?
They did. They made 2 more movies.
Well, I mean, they could have made a different movie, not about a talking baby or.
They joined a fictional religion together.
Glenn, I think they're all fictional. I'm sorry. No.
Who the fuck are you?
Who are you? No, but there's cynics out there that do believe that.
But I mean, say all religions are fictional. They picked the most fictional. By the way, I'm going down to their headquarters in 36 days. So
is it in Texas or where's the?
Clearwater, Florida. In Texas is where their rehab facilities are.
There was a dark time for them other than the finding the dude and rubbing him out who's giving a massage, John Travolta situation. They had a death in their family. One of their sons passed away, and they kept showing their compound. But John Travolta's like airplane that he privately flies was constantly on the shot. Like they kept showing it on, CNN and all that. It was just, I mean, this is its reality. He flies from Hollywood to Florida where this Scientology situation is.
Right. Oh no! We weren't supposed to say the name. Now they're gonna.
God damn it! God damn it!
Kill us.
All right.
We're not gonna last the night. We didn't say the name. We didn't mention L. Ron Hubbard.
Does it smell like gas to you? Maybe my house smells like gas.
Can't smell gas. It's odorless.
No, there's more Captain. Anyway, continue.
So, who else? You mentioned he likes to fly places. Who else likes to fly?
John Denver. He likes to fly places.
John Denver was full of shit.
That John Denver's full of shit, man.
Buddy Holly?
Oh, I read today they're opening that investigation up. So we have plane crashes in the world today.
Yeah.
The LaGuardia one. If you go online and look at the pictures, like the people in first class, like they were right in that bay. Like the tip of the airplane, it skidded off the runway, through a fence, and the tip was in the bay. If it would have went another 10 feet, like they're not living.
The Hudson. They survived the Hudson.
It wasn't the Hudson. It was a different bay. But anyway, yeah. So like I saw pictures online that people in first class took, and like they were the water was right there. They were hovering over the water. And then we got word here a couple hours before we went on the air that the great Harrison Ford has passed away. No, his plane passed away. He was flying his plane. His engine went out right after takeoff, and apparently he did like the best thing that he could do. Like they had experts on the CNN, and they said that he couldn't have like done it more perfectly. Like he did everything he was supposed to do. Because apparently, I didn't know this, he flies everywhere on his own, and he has to have a special contract with all the movie studios that allow him to fly everywhere on his own. So
it seems like he's got a lot of hours. And he knows what he's doing. I'll ask my boss about it tomorrow. He's a private plane guy as well. Are you familiar with Aaron Schuck? I guess my boss.
You will ever know.
Yeah, I guess my boss. He's a state representative for, I guess, a national representative for Illinois. But apparently my boss flew him around.
Illegally?
I think they interviewed him. I think all the stuff he did was legal, but I'm sure he's all over the place.
We have a fan, Abby C.
Okay.
And one of her favorite movies is Look Who's Talking, and she actually is the one who suggested we do a movie that we're going to do right when we come back from our hiatus to us. And so I'm sure she's going to look at this. If she is watching this at some point, it was better than Pirates of Penzance. And she and I made a pact regarding Aaron Schock. So we can talk about it off air if you'd like.
Is this like a death pact kind of thing?
No. No.
Okay.
It's a POTUS pack.
Okay.
We'll come back to that later.
Oh wow. Okay.
So in this movie, and by the way, not to make light, Harrison Ford is apparently, as of we know right now, okay. That would have sucked because he's about to film the Blade Runner sequel. It's Star Wars.
I think it's Star Wars. Whatever.
No. He is doing this summer.
Oh, he's doing the Blade Runner sequel this summer. Okay.
But he just did Star Wars. But I mean, what a great fucking actor, and that would have been a tragedy. And apparently, he did everything right. And there's no way I saw that plane. There's no way anyone should have survived that. And he's in his 70s.
It was a World War II training plane.
He nails Callista Flockhart at least once a month. I mean, he really gives it to her. He pounds wood.
What's your favorite Harrison Ford film?
Ooh. Presumed Innocent.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, don't ruin it for anybody. If you have seen it, don't ruin it for anybody.
Great.
It's pretty good. As far as acting goes, he does a pretty good job acting.
And they did a sequel on TNT a couple years ago that actually wasn't too bad, but that is a great fucking movie if you've never seen Presumed Innocent. I think it was made in '90s, so I'm sure we could probably do it at one time, but I don't know if that's really a good movie for us to do.
No, it's kind of sad.
It's just a better movie to watch.
Yeah, I think
pictures of the Harrison Ford incident. He's older than this plane is older than he is.
No, it's not. He's about the same age.
Either way.
So John Travolta takes him flying. The theme from Staying Alive plays.
Well, I just thought it was awesome. Like Mikey strutting down the street in his stroller. He's pointing at all the ladies in their strollers, and then it's like it's like the exact. I mean, it's as an homage to Saturday Night Fever.
He takes him flying. Then he's going to bang her out. We have that thing you mentioned earlier. The what I call the Dre family dream.
Well, yeah. Well, I was thinking just like the emotional power.
How did that get by you?
Like there's this emotional power that, I mean, I'm sure she thought he was super sexy. Like he could dance, he's a good-looking man, he could fly his own airplane. I mean, I could tell how she could easily be taken in by the spell of John Travolta.
Albert, the father, meets with Kirsty, not Christy, Kirsty.
Yeah.
Rebecca Howell,
star of
Madhouse.
Star Trek 2.
Madhouse with John Larroquette.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Marsha Warfield from Night Court. I don't know why she hasn't gotten back to me, but that's fine. Albert wants to see his son. She doesn't tell John Travolta, who's watching while she's at yoga or aerobics or whatever they did.
Well, this is after she slammed this shit down on his desk.
No,
this is before. Okay.
So Albert comes over. John Travolta and him get into a fist fight.
Worst fight ever.
Worst fight ever. She leaves. Or he leaves. Albert leaves. She comes home. Her house is destroyed. Once again, unfazed. Nothing phases this woman.
What's going on here?
A complete stranger cab driver is watching my kid all the time.
Totally fine.
I think in this movie, if I remember correctly, this is the only time a curse word is spoken, is when she walks into the room.
I think you're right. Which is, I didn't even notice that, but you're right.
Well, when she first gets into the cab, John Travolta goes, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, but then he also asks her if she's a lesbo. So
yes, totally okay to say lesbo. I'm like, when's the last time you heard lesbo? No, like no one says. I mean, it's different time, different place.
Time, different place.
Yep.
So, so her and James are done basically at this point. Her and Travolta are going to Splitsville. She goes to Albert's office. He wants to see Mikey. Throughout the movie, he's very condescending about like where his own kids were and
his wife. She only gained 21 pounds when she was pregnant.
I would have fucking cut a bitch. If some motherfucker said that to me, I would have cut a bitch. So she basically does. She lets Mikey destroy his office.
Yeah.
He rubs shit on his $80,000 desk and says it's worthless. It really wasn't. He could have just wiped up the shit. But whatever. She made her point.
It's just shit.
So that's it. They're done. They're Splitsville. She's at home, and she gets a call from the nursing home that she has to go take care of Grandpa. Grandpa's having an issue.
He comes back when the normal nanny is there just to get some quality time with Mikey. Just that way he doesn't have to see her at all. That way he could just come in and talk to Mikey, say goodbye to him, and then just be gone.
Yeah. So.
Kirsty Alley overhears him, and then later on there's kind of another overhearing situation. But she overhears him on the baby monitor, just being best friends. He's like, "You're basically my best friend." He's like, "She says I'm immature. Maybe I am. I don't care." It's like, but you can tell that she wants. I mean, at a certain level, she wants him to be Mikey's dad.
And Mikey wants it. Once Mikey finds out the concept of dad, he keeps trying to tell her, "I want James to be my dad."
Yeah.
So, anyway, they're taking care of Grandpa. They go to talk out their shit. They leave Grandpa and the orderly, and not one of the fat boys, mind you.
Baby, you're a rich man. Baby, you're a rich man. Sorry.
Baby, you're a rich man. By the way, I'd like to point out, I just looked at MH's laptop. It's being held up by a VHS tape of The Rock and Pure Country. That is like what's underneath MH's laptop elevator.
Gotta let it breathe. Gotta let it breathe.
I'm waiting on the cooling pad to color the nails.
All right. So Mikey escapes. He tries to steal a car.
Yeah.
He causes a 10-car pileup.
In Toronto.
In New York. And they rescue Mikey. They kiss.
He might have some internal injuries, and then he calls James his dad.
He says, "Dada." And we see more sperm, and then John River shows up.
I mean, if you have more sperm, then obviously more babies, because that's exactly how it happens. Do you think it was too vulgar? I mean, for kids. I mean, because I remember seeing this like 8 or 9, 10.
I think it was too vulgar. As MH pointed out, there was only a few cuss words. I think that it was a little graphic, maybe.
Okay.
But obviously, we watched it, and we're perfectly well-adjusted human beings.
I think fine, totally fine.
It also depends on the age at which you see it.
MH is older than us, and he says it depends on the age.
Because I'm sure when we saw the sperm in the egg, we weren't like, "Oh, I know what that is." We're like, I don't even know what this is.
Right. Yeah, Kirsty Alley wrote in her memoir that she absolutely fell in love with John Travolta and during filming, and she absolutely wanted to start a relationship, but she stayed loyal to her husband. I don't have this information in front of me, but I believe she's married to one of the Hardy Boys, right?
From the television program?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's a fact. I'm sure I could find out, but I don't feel like it.
Okay.
Of all the roles John Travolta played, he did state, like, this is the most real to my personality. So he's a smoking in front of babies, taxi driving,
as a
horrific pilot.
He's got like these Dre family situations where he comes in with the giant belly and the wife beater T-shirt.
Thank you for the callback.
I need to just pull the lettuce off. It's still good.
Yeah, just gotta pull the brown off.
This could be tomatoes, could be peaches.
Now I don't know
could be meat.
I don't know when this quote was captured, but John Travolta said after watching the premiere of all the movies he ever had done, this was the one he knew was going to be a hit. Now, this could have been like in like 1990. Like, I don't know when he said that. So it really was fucked up, because I'm pretty sure if you watch the premiere of Pulp Fiction, you're like, this movie is fucking incredible.
I think it was like made for 12 or 17 million. but then it ended up grossing like $298 million, like almost $300 million.
What did?
This movie.
No, IMDb differs.
Are we talking about this?
I'm talking about Look Who's Talking. I'm talking about
Oh.
domestic and foreign.
Are you
Well, if Mike doesn't agree, then obviously I'm right. So.
IMDb says 100. Oh yeah, just in the USA it was 140.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably right.
Seymour.
I mean, it just seems like it seems like a kind of movie that would translate well to overseas markets as well.
297 worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Why not make 2 more movies?
So Look Who's Talking 2.
Blah.
We can do it sometime. Joan Rivers got replaced by Roseanne Barr. I thought Look Who's Talking 3 was actually really good, or Look Who's Talking Now. I didn't watch that movie for years because I thought it was going to be horrible. My sister, I think, said to me, hey, it's actually a pretty good movie. And I mean, not good, but it's funny. It was pretty funny.
I mean, it's your same characters as before, and just you're revisiting your characters.
Why not hit the well a couple more times? What else were they doing?
So was it Danny DeVito?
Oh,
and Diane Keaton? Is that who it was?
Diane Keaton. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Yes.
Okay.
Couple things. He's looking that up. There's Look Who's Talking 2. You have the 2 kids there.
Julie.
Do you think of all the John Travolta's work in the 80s? Is this one of his better contributions?
I think this is. I mean, there's Urban Cowboy, which is like 80, and then there's this. I think this is the best one.
Well, The Experts. I mean,
I love The Experts, but I think this is definitely better than The Experts. I think it holds up better, and it's more. This is a movie you'd want to show everybody. I think everyone should see this movie.
All right. It holds up to me. Does it hold up to you?
I think so.
Okay. So a couple quick things. We'll wrap this up here. We're over the hour mark. By some time. Not that we have a set time, but you know.
Okay.
Let's talk about our upcoming. So over the next couple weeks, or a week and a half, or a week even, if you are a fan of the video podcast, you are going to see probably 3 or 4 different, at least 3 different new ones in your feed.
You're going to be spoiled. That's what's going to happen.
The audio listener will get them dispersed, hopefully no later than once a week. What we're doing is you are obviously going to be on hiatus. In the past, in these situations, MH is dying. In the past, what we've done is we would just reproduce old episodes and put them out. But we're going to try to stockpile some original content. Since we're new to the live format, we're going to have to keep it live, which means that there could be a night where you get 2 or 3 episodes released at once. You don't have to watch them all at one time. We're not asking for that. Just watch them as your leisure. Hit like on the YouTubes if you like it. Hit like on the Facebooks. Go to iTunes and please, please, please leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us get more guests. Upcoming guests, we mentioned Rhonda. Rhonda up all night. In the next, if not in the next week, then once we return from hiatus. Also, I have been in conversation again with Keith Coogan from Adventures of Babysitting fame. He is going to come on probably, I'm guessing, after the hiatus, and we're going to do Don't Tell Mom Babysitter's Dead, which is a 90s movie, but sometimes we do 80s movies that were made in the 90s. I think that qualifies. So that will be exciting. And next Friday, the 13th, Chris Vanderkay is going to come back, and we're going to do the cult classic House, which I'm very much looking forward to.
I'm pretty excited about House. I think it'll be a lot of fun. One other thing that I noticed in this movie, they do the When I Grew Up to Be a Man montage a couple times, a couple different ways.
When I grow up to be a man. Yes, it's in your notes.
They're watching basketball. I think it's the Bulls versus the Knicks. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. I can tell you that the Bulls beat the Thunder tonight, though.
Okay, good.
This movie had a great soundtrack, by the way. I don't know if it was actually put out as a soundtrack. I didn't, but a lot of great old-timey songs. So once again I want to thank MH for the studio. I want to thank MF Jones for being MF Jones. I want to thank Talon for all you do on the video or the audio editing. I want to once again thank our Springfield fan, Julie Frost Hemmers. You had some other fans you want to thank?
Tom S, Jake H, Greg D, Mike P, Larry W, Mr. Dewey, Linda F, I think you thanked her previously, Jennifer FS, Morgan O, Kathy VB, Christine J, Sarah J, Thomas W, Josh A, Jason G, Matthew T, Bob Z,
Yeah.
Connie L, Eddie C. Hopefully we can just thank everyone we possibly can who contribute to the Facebook page and all our likes and new likes. We only get to talk about the 80s one night a week, but we get to interact with you guys all the rest of the week on the Facebook page. And we do
if you're an
appreciate it.
80s fan, our Facebook page every single day from what we post and what our fans post is complete nostalgia. It's awesome stuff. People find crazy stuff all over on the internet. If you haven't liked our page, please do. So yeah, thank you, Julie.
A lot of stuff from Greg D and of course Mr. Rizzo. They're always putting stuff there.
Yeah. So always appreciate it. Please go to the iTunes. Please leave a review. Don't just, I mean, you can just start. We'll take the stars, but we'd really appreciate if you just wrote a couple kind words. It helps us when our guests want to vet us. We get more guests, and some of you don't like the fact that we have so many guests, but to us it's kind of a childhood dream to talk to some of these people. And that's all I got. So hopefully next week we'll be coming at you with a couple pod shorts and then House and possibly an interview or two. But we're going to probably overload you next week. That's the goal at least. But you don't have to watch them all at once. We just want to get them out there. So while we are on hiatus, you guys have some content from us. And we always thank you.
Real quick, there was a question from Jennifer P. Do you think this would be the same movie if Mikey didn't talk?
No, it's a shit movie if Mikey doesn't talk.
Okay.
There's no bad question. But who the fuck is going to watch this movie if Mikey doesn't talk?
Would you pick somebody else other than Bruce Willis?
No. I like a baby who can drink Seagrams.
I like a baby who can play the harmonica. I like a baby who can sing and carry a tune. I like a baby who likes to yell across a crowded office room and doesn't give a shit about it.
You said this was your favorite Bruce Willis movie, did you?
It is. It's hard. Even though I love Die Hard, followed closely by the Thin Red Line.
Oh, fuck you.
He had a considerable amount of improv scenes that I don't know if they used. Some they used, some they didn't use, but they said a lot of the other improv stuff.
X-rated.
X-rated, yes.
They would have carried an R rating.
Yes, apparently he did a lot of stuff in the Mikey voice that was very inappropriate.
Now, hey, I have a question for you, Mr. Carlson. What if Bruce Willis's voice was replaced by Morgan Freeman?
I think it'd be even better.
Or the gentleman who narrates for the Cosmos.
The magic science black man?
Yes, that guy.
Okay. Either way, I think it'd be good. But I think Bruce Willis definitely, he adds to this movie. And I think Roseanne does in the sequel as well.
Fantastic.
Can we talk? All right. This is Lawrence.
This is Michael.
Stay awesome, everybody.
Stay awesome.
Motherfucker Jones!